Okay. Howdy folks, welcome back. So, here we are at January 30th of 2022. The Soho images haven't been uploaded to this site yet, so we have stereo A images, which is what we really needed anyways, because this was a Earth-facing CME. You see it coming off the side over here on this side. Yeah. And on the Soho, I checked another instrument and looked at it, and it's a full halo coming at us. So I went to stereo A and looked, and sure enough, it's coming off to the right of stereo A, which means it's coming in our direction. So I'm going to let that loop run for just a second, and then we'll start going through it frame by frame here, because there's a lot going on in here. Okay, let me scroll down and, oops. Back up. Okay, here's the first image is this object. There we go. Starts to emerge from behind the sun here. A little closer. There we go. Alright, now. So here's our explosion coming off the side of the sun. Here's our instrument reacting to it. And I want you to note this little curvature, how it comes out and then curves back in and then curves back out. It's like it has a little dent in it or something. Hello, Justina. So as we progress through this, right here, I want you to note how the shock wave coming out should be nice and round, but it has this big dent in it. It has a big kink in it right here. Okay, and then as we progress, we keep going frame by frame. Okay, and then it moves out of screen. So now we're going to back up here. I want to put it right on this frame right there. And we're going to zoom in here to this. Okay, hopefully now you guys can see it. Right here is a round object right here. It's causing a dent in this shock wave. I mean, a huge dent. For a dent to be in a shock wave, there's got to be something that's disrupting it. And you can see it clearly in this frame right here, this nice round circle right there. Move my hands now so you can see. We have this round object right here making a dent in the shock wave. The instrument's even reacting to it. It's reaching out here, comes in, reacts to this object, and then comes back out and dumps back down again. So hopefully you guys can see that. Let me go a frame more. Okay. Here it is right here. Okay. Back up the frame here. Okay. Yeah, there's a good image of right there. So this round circular object is causing the CME. When it came out and interacted with the sun's magnetic field, it produced this CME and is actually leading the CME. Now let's back out of this real quick and then get back. I'm going to put it into motion here for a minute. Oops. There we go. And you can even see it on the red side over here. You can see how this material, as this object moves out, the material wraps around it. It finally kind of catches up to it and starts to wrap around it. Okay, so now let's go back and pause right. Back up a little bit here. So here we are, first frame of the day. Yeah, we're at 0:53 over here, so it's the first frame of January 30th. And we were watching this over here. Well, if you're good, you can look over here and see there's another object over on this side. And we'll go zoom in on it here. Okay, so we have, again, this little dark core with a circular shape around it. Most likely this is our object with this magnetic field going around it. You can see these white streaks coming off up here and another streak down here. So there's material going over it and streaking past it. You can see that this material comes out, bends, and when it hits this object, it bends and goes around it. You see this little slight curvature? Same here, comes up, goes over the object and out. Okay, so we'll back out of this one a little bit. So that's the first frame of the day right there. And we have an object already out here with material passing it as this second object starts to emerge. Now we'll go forward through it a little bit. Okay, you know what? This is what I want to do. I want to focus on this object a little bit right here, on this one that we're working on. Now, as this shock wave comes out, where is it? As this shock wave comes out on this side, it hits this object and goes over it. So we'll go back and forth a few times. You see it hit it and go over it. Whoops. Right there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this, I'll zoom in on it here. Alright, let's put it in motion there. Okay, now we're going to zoom into this area. So watch over here, we're focusing on this object here, and watch as the shock wave goes and hits it and goes over it as it's going out. Hello everybody, thanks for coming. Thank you for your patience with me here. I'm trying to do my best with what I got here. So then there was a third object right here, and we'll go focus in on that one next. So yeah, watch this one right here as the shock wave goes over it. Right there. Okay, now let's go to the next one. This little guy up here. So we'll go down here and pause right there, back it up a little bit. Okay, here we go. I'm going to zoom in on this too as we do this. Okay. So here's our instrument reacting. The object's coming out from behind the occulter here. We're going forward through it here. Okay, right here. Here's a good shot of this little round object right here with its magnetic field around it and the instrument reacting to it. And then we'll keep going. Alright, so right there's a good shot of it. Even better right there. So I'm talking about this little small round object with its magnetic field coming off this quadrant of the sun here. Okay, so that was the last frame right there of that day that we have so far today. The rest of this will hopefully download later on today, and I can show you the Soho angle too. There wasn't much to see in the Soho angle because it's a full halo just kind of coming at you or whatever. So It's a little hard to see. This stereo A angle is actually perfect for this event because you get to see the profile of it. So we'll put it back into motion here, let it go for a minute. You watch your 3 different objects in one day. In that one, the big one right here, and then the third one coming off the top over here. Okay, so this is the part where you might want to sit down for this because I want you to focus on more over here on the red side. Now, this satellite is off to the left of the sun of us. It's not a full 90 degrees off to the left of the sun, but it is off to the left by about maybe 45 degrees, we'll say. So, I want you to look at the trajectory of this thing. Watch it as it comes off. It looks like it could possibly go towards our planet. Now, I'm going to pause it on a spot here because I want to point some stuff out here. Okay, so, right, let's go to the next one. Oops. Okay, so here we are at this image with our object right here. Over here, it's this huge dent right here, this dark spot you see. Okay. Now, this CME is Earth directed. It will hit Earth. I went to the Enlil spirals to go see if they had any information. They don't have it up yet, but this thing is Earth directed. And if this object is in the same trajectory as this CME, it could possibly pass close to us. I don't think it's going to hit us, but I think it could possibly pass pretty close to us. If you look here, we're on the southern side of the sun. Well, this white circle represents the size of the sun, but let's just use this black circle as a reference right now. Say this is the sun. We aren't exactly straight across from it. We are slightly south of the equator of the sun. So we're slightly south of the equator of the sun, which puts us down in this quadrant right here. Now, if you look where I'm pointing and where our object is, it might just go over our North Pole. Now, it's hard to tell from these angles, from these camera angles, what the exact trajectory is, but this is the closest I have ever seen of something coming towards our direction. The CME is coming here. It's caused by this object. This object put a dent in the shock wave of it, which makes me think that the Enlil spiral might have some trouble deciphering this one because of the dent in the shock wave. But anyways, I believe that this is coming in our direction, and I'm going to put this back into motion here, and I just want you to, might not be able to see the best, but maybe I'm going to go over here to this red side and zoom in on, I just study the trajectory of that, because it's like halfway in between, like all the way to 90 degrees to the right, and it's not coming straight at the camera. So when I watch that, I just looked at it. It sure looks like it might be headed in our direction. Now, I'm not trying to scare everybody and stuff, but it's good to be aware of what's going on here and know what to expect. So a couple weeks back, I think we had a little shift in our axis of our planet, and if this thing goes north of our planet, it could possibly cause another axis shift. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen for sure, but when you look at the amount of material and the huge CME that this object's magnetic field ripped off of the sun, it's got a strong magnetic field. It might interact with ours if it gets close to us. Now, this is about maybe 3 days out. These CMEs take about 3 days to get to our planet. Oh, there's our Boyd. I haven't seen our Boyd in a long time. Good to see you, buddy. So back to where I was talking about. So this thing, if it does come close to our planet, might go over the North Pole. It could possibly latch onto the North Pole and do some kind of damage or shift or something. We don't know. I'm just speculating here, but I watched this one for a while and I figured, you know what, I better get this out to you guys now and get you a good heads up and maybe head start on preparing or whatever. Because this is about 3, maybe 4 days out from coming to our planet, and we'll definitely see an uptick in auroras from this. We'll see an uptick in earthquake and volcanic activity. But what I'm concerned about a little bit is the gravitational and magnetic field of this object. And if it does pass over the top of the planet or to the left of us, it could do something wonky to us. So please, everybody, just be aware, keep your head on a swivel, hold on tight, be prepared with your supplies and stuff. Be prepared with God. That's why all this is happening. These are the signs in the sun that were promised in the Bible, and you're seeing them. So, by the trajectory on this side, it looks like the Earth would be like right about here, and that thing just goes over the top of what Earth would be. And this thing, it might not look very big on the screen, but compared to the size of the sun and how small the Earth is compared to the size of the sun, it's massive. And if it went over north of us, we might be able to see it. So keep your eyes peeled for anywhere from January 2nd on, I would say. These last closing images here, let's pause it on this right here. Okay, I'll bring the magnifier over. I want to focus on the red side here for just a minute. If we can get it. Isn't going to show up. Oh, it doesn't show up too well. Okay. So as I move this back and forth, I want you to watch how material is wrapping around this. This thing had caused a dent right here, but the outside of this shockwave is catching up to it and it's going to overcome it. And you're seeing on this side, oh man, it's not showing up too well. I'm going to run it back and forth, but you'll see that over on this side that the material is finally cupping and going over the top of it and cupping around it. So I'm going to go backward and forward through that. Okay, that's pretty faint, but you can see how that shockwave is cupping around it and eventually overtaking it. That image right there looked like Pac-Man on this side right here. It looked like Pac-Man here gobbling up a dot. Maybe that's where they got their idea of the game. Anyways, let me zoom back out now. So yeah, let's everybody just be aware. And with an event like this going down and it being possibly visible to people, to the naked eye, there might be some kind of big distraction on that day to keep everybody looking at the TV or something and not looking up in the sky or see what's going on. The last time when this thing passed, we had hurricanes going on that had everybody glued to the TV and nobody noticed what happened on the sun. But let's put this back into motion again. And something else I was going to point out too is if you look at the halo effect, it's almost a full halo on stereo A here. Almost. There's still this little spot down in here where it's not as intense, So it's like 3/4 halo, whatever. And on Soho, it's a full halo. So that tells me that this stuff is kind of going in a direction more back towards the camera this way, which would put it right over our orbit, over our trajectory. So I sure hope I'm wrong about this one, but this is the closest I've ever seen of something coming in our direction. So when the end little spirals come up, I'll take a look at those and we'll see what's going on. Oh, another thing I wanted to point out. Okay, in the shock wave here is this big dent, right? We're talking about this dent because the object here has caused it. In the SOHO images, that dent, it's a full halo, but the dent in that image happens to be coming like straight at us. So hopefully if this thing does come towards us, it goes over us, by us, next to us, doesn't hit us or come too close to do catastrophic effects. But I don't know, it's going to be a close call, folks. When I look at that, the way it moves and the trajectory it's on, it's like dang close. Let's back up one more image right there. Okay, and for you who haven't just got here or whatever, let's go over this one more time before we close this out. Okay. So we're talking about a round object right here that's caused a dent in this huge shock wave. I've never seen a shock wave do this before. Come way in and then stick way out like that. That's just crazy. That's clearly showing that this object is disrupting this shock wave, and it's right there. Back up. So I think that's it for this video. I wanted to show you that this CME is coming our way, you guys. So at least prepare for that. Have candles and generators and gas and all your supplies and water and food. You have all your stuff ready. So in case the power goes out for a while, it'll be there. And let's go one more time. It looks weird in reverse. Okay, if the Earth flat, then I can jump off the edge. No, the Earth is not flat. The Earth is a spheroid. In space, where there's gravity and lack of gravity, everything turns into the shape of a spheroid. Anyway, I'm not here to debate that stuff. That's your opinion, and I'm just here to show you what I observed and point out what I see in these things. So even though we were missing SOHO today, it happened to be good that we caught it here on Stereo A instead. So thought I'd bring that to you guys and give you a little warning. This one, I just got a weird feeling about this one. When I looked at it and I see what angle it's going at, it just kind of, I felt compelled to bring this to you guys and give you a little heads up and a warning. Not for sure that it's going to go past us, but we will be having a CME hit us, that's for sure. So that's it for now. I love you all, and until my next video, bye. Thank you, Shasky. Bless you. Bless everybody that showed up today. And Civilian Warrior, me too. Bless you all, and thank you for coming. Hey, Whitetail made it. Stock up on candles. Hey, look at that. Who's got a wrench now? All right. Good job, Whitetail. Thank you for coming and showing up, and thank you for bringing people here and being a good mod also. So, hey, Brian, please go get an education. No, it's called indoctrination. The real education comes from the Bible. That's the real truth. That's the real knowledge. You go to college, you're just paying somebody to tell you a bunch of bullshit and blow smoke up your butt. So, anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I love you all. Bless you all. And until my next one, bye.